Segmentation. In order to find their target customer group, companies go through the process of segmentation. Here, we look at methods for segmenting consumer markets. Market segmentation is the process of dividing a market into distinct groups of buyers with similar requirements. We segment in order to reach the right customers and give them value. The process of segmentation consists of the following steps. We look at the total market for our product. The market is also sometimes called the industry. The market for automobiles or the market for beverages are both examples of consumer markets. Next, we consider which segments are there in this market for our product, and we create the segments. We then evaluate our segments. From the results of this evaluation, we choose one of the segments to be our target group. Through the process of segmentation, we divide people into groups with similar requirements. These groups are uniform and consist of people who have the same needs and wishes in a certain subject. We have 3 segments in this figure. There may be more. When we segment, we use variables. A segment variable is a fact such as gender, age, education, or residence. We place the segmentation variables into the following 3 main categories: Sociodemographic, Behavouristic, Psychographic. Each of these categories is reviewed in the following sections. The first is sociodemographic variables. These variables are quite easy to identify and measure. They are divided into 3 classes. The first contains age, gender, and residence. The second contains education, work, and income. And the third and last contains race, ethnicity, and religion. These 3 classes may be reviewed as follows. Age, gender, and geographical residence are variables that traditionally have been important, and age particularly can affect certain consumption patterns. To some extent, this is still true. However, our lifestyles have changed, and age is no longer as important for a certain lifestyle as before. In fashion, the Italian luxury brand Gucci is today bought by young teenagers as well as women in their 60s and 70s. Education, work, and income are important variables informing individual attitudes and behaviour in everyday life. Especially education in our youth influences our future attitudes and behaviour. Race, ethnicity, and religion have influence on our lifestyle, our attitudes and values. But it is important to remember that there can be differences in how individuals within a certain religion think and act. The next category is behavouristic. Behavouristic variables reflect the behaviour of customers to a specific product. We look at and divide people by their product and media uses and actions. We identify their media and shopping habits. We may consider consumer loyalty towards certain products and brands and the consumer's frequency of use of these products and brands. We also look at the possibility that customers may change products and brands. Does the customer want to try new products and new brands? Some customers are willing to try new product types within the same brand. Some are willing to change brand, but not the specific product type. Some are willing to try new product types from other brands. And a group of customers have no desire at all to change either product type or brand. Some women will always use the perfume Chanel No. 5. The last of the three main categories is psychographic. Psychographic variables are segmentation of the customer's lifestyle, personal attitudes, and personality. These variables are hard to measure. We often use lifestyle segmentation models for these variables, for instance, the Minerva or the Vowels model. We have now reviewed the three main categories in the segmentation process. In the following section, there is a review of segmentation itself. When we have gone through all the variables of the three main categories, we can divide consumers into segments with similar requirements. The definition of a segment is a group of consumers who have the same needs and the same desires. It can be 3 segments, as here, or it can be many. We only consider customers in whom we have an interest. Evaluation of segments. We now have a number of segments with customers who are so different that we have to treat them differently according to our marketing, distribution, and product purposes. Therefore, we have to find the most attractive segment for our business. Determining the most attractive segment. For evaluation of segments, we look at 4 different factors. These are existing sales size in the segment and growth rate of the segment, accessibility, is it easy or difficult to communicate with the segment, size of segment, how large is the segment, suitability of segment, does the segment suit our business? We will now review each of these 4 factors. The existing sales size in the segment and growth rate of the segment. Before choosing the segment as our target group and embarking on a sales strategy, it is important to know the existing sales size in that particular segment. It is also important to know how product sales are growing in the chosen segment to evaluate if the segment is profitable. Accessibility. Is it easy or difficult to communicate with the potential customers in the segment? Accessibility is about communicating with your customers and being able to get the message out to them. Communication is usually through the internet, TV, radio, ads in magazines. If your target customers do not use any of these means of communication, it will be difficult to communicate with them. Size of segment. How large is the segment? There needs to be an opportunity to increase product sales within the chosen segment. Using our smartphone example, if the chosen segment contains people aged 20 to 30, and if we imagine 95% of this age group owns a smartphone, the chosen segment will probably need to be reconsidered. This is unless the company feels that the segment would like to replace their existing smartphone and have the money to purchase a replacement. it is important that the segment is the right size. If the segment is too small, potential for sales growth will be limited. If it is too large, it will be difficult to create marketing activities to suit all of the groups included in the segment. And you have to divide the segment furthermore into 2 or more segments. Suitability of segment. Does the segment suit our business? Firms need to ensure that the segment is suitable. This means that the characteristics of the people making up the segment are likely to buy the product and have the spending power to buy the product. Choice of target group. By considering and analysing the above criteria, the company can clarify which segment it will choose as its final target group. In the following section, we will review an example of segmentation with respect to the Danish company Carlsberg. We will use Carlsberg's product Eve as a case story. Eve is a sweet beverage like a breezer or cider with only 2.5% alcohol. Eve was introduced to the Danish market in August 2010. Carlsberg has decided to use market segmentation in order to find the primary target group for the launch of Eve. Carlsberg's own statistics show that women are attracted to these sweet beverages with low alcohol content. Both sexes are permitted to drink alcohol from the age of 18 in Denmark. The age range is from 18 years old and up to 40 years old. Carlsberg has planned to introduce Eve in bars and cafes. The women are residents of the cities, as bars and cafes are located in the city. In this hypothetical example, Carlsberg ends up with 2 interesting segments. The first segment is women aged 22 to 28, studying in higher education or having just started in their first job. These women are city women and independent from family life and children. The second segment is women aged 30 to 36, in a well-paid job, who have just started a family and who sometimes enjoy meeting old girlfriends out in the city at a cafe or a bar. Carlsberg now has to evaluate these 2 segments according to the set criteria: size of existing sales in the segment and growth rate of the segment. Accessibility: is it easy or difficult to communicate with them? Size of segment: how large is the segment? Suitability of segment: does the segment suit our business? Size of existing sales and growth rate of segment 2, women aged 30 to 36, is larger than segment 1, women aged 22 to 28. The women in segment 2 have greater purchasing power due to their job situation. Both segments have high accessibility and are easy to get in contact with through social media and women's magazines. There is almost the same number of women in the 2 segments. Both segments like to go to cafes, but segment 2 still has greater purchasing power than segment 1. Suitability of segment: both segments suit Carlsberg's business, and both segments are interested in the Eve drink. Choice of segment for Carlsberg's Eve. Based on the above criteria, Carlsberg chooses segment 2, women aged 30 to 36, as their main target group, and hope that some of their marketing efforts will also reach segment 1. Now we shall review a criticism of the segmentation model. Segmentation is a widely used discipline in the process of determining the target group for a company. However, segmentation has been criticized because many people change their attitudes according to the buying situation, and therefore purchases are often situational. It is sometimes difficult to identify the market of the product or service we want to sell. The boundaries of a market are almost always moving. The model gives no answer to which factors are the most important in our situation. But if you don't try to focus on a segment, and therefore a particular group of customers, then your marketing efforts will be pure guesswork. It is like shooting in the dark.